For much of the year in the Amazon, it rains. A lot. To the outside world, it may appear as a vast, untamed wilderness. But 25 million people live in the Amazon. That's as many as in North Korea. Most of the population in the Amazon live in cities, like Manaus, which boast a total population of 2.5 million people. In a region where roads and basic services are often lacking, many people here eke out a living. And all too often, it's the forest that suffers.
No one deforested because he's stupid, or because he's intelligent, or because I like deforestation, because I'm a serial killer of a tree. No. They do it because they need to survive, to feed the family.
There are ways to succeed without leaving a harsh footprint on the environment. Ecotourism is big business, helping Brazil bring in nearly $7 billion in tourist money. It always rains some here, but near Manaus in the state of Amazonas, the heaviest downfall comes from January to April. So much rain, in fact, that a huge swath of forest floods outward some 35 kilometers. Tributaries jump their banks. The air is heavy and humid, and people pay to see nature's wonder. Some people who once made a living poaching animals or illegally harvesting trees are now finding there is money to be made by preserving the forest and its animals. This floating house, about an hour boat ride from Manaus, is a perfect example and provided our strangest experience in the Amazon. It began with the guide asking if we wanted to see an anaconda, the largest animal in the region.
This one here is something like 45 pounds.
At least.
Yeah. Anacondas in the wild, at this time of the year, they can climb up a tree and catch a sloth. They can catch a bigger animal. But normally, what they eat a lot, which is an easy prey, is fish.
Aurelia Oliveira lives here with her 4 children. Her husband is a fisherman, and he caught the anaconda in a net. A hungry giant snake and 4 children living in a floating house doesn't seem like a very safe equation.
This animal can easily be found with 20 to 35 feet. Locals talk about seeing a lot of them with over 40 feet.
You can really feel it ripple and move.
Yep. And strong, very solid muscle animal. They can even try to attack a little baby. A lot of babies in floating houses like this in the Amazon, they disappear.
Oliveira says her family is safe, that the children are used to wild animals living so deep in the forest. As a further enticement to lure tourists, Oliveira also has a caiman and a young sloth.
Aí nós pegamos uma preguiça e começou a vir particular para cá para casa. Vem muito, vem um rincha, todo mundo vem aqui visitar.
People dropping by offer small tips. It's not a lot of money, but it helps feed and clothe the family.
The Amazon, first of all, is extremely different.
Marco Lima grew up in the Amazon. He's an Army veteran and now a marine biologist who spends a great deal of time on the Rio Negro.
Amazon is an incredible nest of life.
Just outside of Manaus, the dark water of the Rio Negro meets the silty brown water of the Amazon. It is an amazing image. It's interesting because all the books we read said if you get in the water, you can run into all kinds of harmful things. But here we are, and we can dip down like this, and everything's good. Why are we so safe right now?
Well, first of all, this river, as I told you, it's a river that you don't find much of water life for us, for the Amazon standard. But right here where we're swimming, there are piranhas. But there are piranhas who don't eat, a flesh, or we're not attracting them to eat us.
At least not yet.
At least not yet. Yeah, that's right. Makes sense.
Lima brought us here to see the Amazon's river dolphin, or pink dolphin. Another look at ecotourism. In this small lagoon, tourists can wade in the warm water of the Rio Negro and swim with the pink dolphins. There are strict rules and oversight to protect the animals. This site is run by David Sequeira. Ironically, Sequeira used to consider the dolphins a nuisance. He's a fisherman by trade, and dolphins would destroy his fishing nets, ruining the day's catch.
É porque o pessoal às vezes vão lançando um cardume de peixe, né? Os botos vão lá e espantam. Ou não, quando o pessoal lancia o cardume de peixe, que está lá já dentro da rede, os botos vão lá e rasgam a rede e os peixes todos fogem da rede.
But now Sequeira can make a living by simply introducing people to one of the treasures of the river. It's these little victories that give Lima renewed hope for the future of this delicate environment. Who do you think owns this area? Is it Brazil or is it the world?
Brazilians were gifted with the Amazon, but the benefits of the Amazon, not only in fish life or plant life, weather balance, I think it belongs to the world. But Brazilians were gifted to take care.
There are so many riches here, and recently the world has come to appreciate this one. If you haven't tasted acai, you have no doubt heard about it and seen it in stores. It is the trendy drink right now. Before customers can drop $5 or so US for a bottle of acai, someone has to harvest it. Less than 10% of acai is actually planted in Brazil. Most, like this stand, just grows wild. Times a day, 17-year-old Edmilson Silva scurries up acai trees. It's physically demanding, and his family constantly worries.
Tenho muito medo, principalmente quando chove muito, porque é muito vento e é arriscado assim raio, e mesmo porque ele sobe com faca, esterçado. Mas aí tem que correr risco. Nada.
It may be a back-breaking way to make a living, but it is sustainable if the branches are picked without damaging the trees. It's long been popular here, accounting for about $250 million in business annually in the state of Amapá. Many growers eagerly take what the forest provides.
Se a Amazônia vai acabar com tudo.
O rio é tudo para nós. O rio, a água, é a nossa sobrevivência. Nós, sem a água, nós não somos nada.
The stems produce the berries, and it takes all day to fill just a couple of baskets. Then the product is rushed to ports and off to factories. Many locals shake their heads at the knowledge that people in the U.S. will cough up $5 for a single serving of acai. It is impossible to talk about changing attitudes in the Amazon region without talking about the caiman. In the 1980s, poachers killed millions for their valuable skin, almost hunting these members of the crocodile family into extinction. Today, its rebirth is one of the big success stories in the Pantanal region of Brazil.
This is one in the exactly moment. Look at that.
Wow. That is amazing. Weber Girardi runs House of Jacare. It's one of 13 government-sanctioned caiman farms in the Pantanal. It's a way the government feeds the desire for animal skins and meat and helps halt the devastation that comes from poaching.
Here I can take everything from this animal. The skin, to make some different products, in the meat, to sell from any customers.
Local farmers bring in thousands of eggs each year that Girardi raises. The number of eggs in each farm site are cataloged carefully. Many environmentalists think the program is barbaric and should be stopped. But Girardi says, consider this. His business acts as a detriment to poaching. And in the wild, only 5% of caiman grow to be adults. Here, 95% do. There are more than 50,000 caiman here at Casa de Jacare. Clearly, they're used to people, but they don't like to be disturbed. These will live to be about 2.5 years old, and then they'll be harvested. Each month, they generate about 4,000 caiman skins and about 5 tons of meat. Most of that is sold in Brazil, but recently they've also opened up markets in Bolivia, Mexico, and the United States. Many of the skins he sells here or through his website. All the caiman here are local to the area, except one. This is Brazil's black caiman and can grow twice as large as the ones native to the Pantanal. Working with these animals every day, however, does have its risks.
This happened when you take her in the arms to take a picture. And stay, like make the position and...
How many stitches?
34.
Today, there are an estimated 10 million caiman in the marshlands of Brazil's Pantanal. And if the skins are going to be sold legally, they must have this government seal that comes on all products from the House of Jacaré. From the swamps of the Pantanal to the well-manicured corporate grounds of Brazil's uber-popular cosmetic company, Natura, where the company's vice president for business in Brazil, Guto Pedreira, says Natura's recipe for success is simple.
Sustainability is our model of being business. We think about quality, we think about a good shape, but also we think how can you make it less environmental impact.
It's not just lip service. It's routinely considered the gold standard for business in Brazil and widely respected in Latin America. Natura is the most popular cosmetic brand in Brazil. We are in someplace special. This is the only Natura store in all of Brazil. But don't expect a big rush at the front door. This store is limited to employees only, and they can only buy 5 products per month. Natura has 1.2 million people, chiefly in Latin America, who basically sell the products door to door. And it works. The company makes more than $4 billion a year. Its factory squeezing shampoo, skin creams, skin cleansers, and other cosmetics into bottles. Natura prides itself on scientific research, determining how fruits and plants that come from the forest can play a role in their products, and that in turn creates jobs.
We try to with Natura show other companies that it's possible to maintain this forest.
But man, they produce a lot of cars already. Imaflora is an organization spawned out of the Rio Earth Summit back in 1992 and certifies that companies like Natura are doing what they say, operating in an environmentally friendly fashion.
I think they want to be part of the solutions for a better world for future generations.
Imaflora's Luis Guedes says customers want to know that companies follow rules, and their studies show consumers flock to companies where the environment comes first. But Guedes says it's not enough for companies like Natura who want to support the environment. He believes government at all levels, federal, state, and local, need to step up.
We need a bag of tools that can drive business towards sustainability and making Brazil growing a lot as we need, but also protecting natural resources and creating value for our society and our workers. And this is the big challenge. We are not in this track yet.
There are success stories, but critics charge not nearly enough. Deforestation is still a problem that threatens the Amazon as we know it. Do you see heroes and villains in what's going on here?
Well, certainly there are some heroes and villains.
So the question remains, what about the future? What's at stake? How delicate is this balancing act in protecting the environment as Brazil struggles to become a global economic power?